Hey guys, Chad here with Forge Concepts. We're out at Coleman's Creek shooting range today in North Carolina, and we're going to be doing something a little bit different. We normally deliver content based on guns or kit and equipment solutions. We are a kit and equipment company, but we also do the search and rescue stuff behind the scenes that we'd like to talk to you guys about, and we also see a lot of overlap in the overlanding space and the gun industry, the two-way community in general. The truck behind me you've probably seen in some of our other videos with the Starlink mini bag launch, or you've seen it at some of the shows we attend like Appalachian Range Day, SHOT Show, the 3-Gun Memorial Shoot. We bring this truck out there, and it's also in a lot of our search and rescue stuff we do. So we wanted to talk to you a little bit about it today. A lot of people ask us questions when they see it. They like to walk around it. So we wanted to put a video out there kind of explaining how we've built it out, what we use it for, and we'll have another follow-on video talking about how we use it for search and rescue as well. A little bit of background about this build. The build started in 2020 at the height of COVID really. We wanted a vehicle that we could go out and camp in, get outside, get out of the city. That's where this build originally started. I got inspiration for the build from guys like Mike over at Last Line of Defense, or Talon, or Expedition Overland. Those channels I did a lot of research on, saw what I liked, what I wanted, and this build started as a camping rig. It grew from there to now be used for search and rescue. I would say before, if you are planning to create a bug out rig or any kind of build off of a vehicle, definitely do your research, definitely do your planning, figure out what you want to build the vehicle for prior to starting the build, and plan it out. If you want it to be just a rock crawling vehicle, if you want it to be a camping vehicle, search and rescue vehicle like this one's now used for, or just a daily driver, that looks cool, because that's okay too. Just plan it out before you start. It'll save you a lot of time changing things in the long run, which is a lesson I learned the hard way. The other thing I want to say is everything on this truck was paid for by me. Nothing was donated from a company. There's no company giving us any money to have their items, their products on this truck. Everything on the truck is either put on there, paid for by me because I think it's smart, or it was just made by me and put on the truck. The base of this build is on a Chevy Colorado ZR2. I was between two trucks, the Toyota Tacoma or the Chevy Colorado. I love Toyota Tacomas. They're great trucks. I've used Toyotas a lot, mostly overseas, very reliable, great vehicles. There was two main reasons I chose the Chevy Colorado, specifically the ZR2. That was the front and rear lockers that come with the truck standard, and the diesel engine. Those weren't available in the Toyota Tacoma that I was aware of. So I opted for the Chevy Colorado ZR2 with the diesel engine, and I've been very happy. Got a lot of use out of the front and rear lockers already, doing search and rescue. It saved me a lot. It's great peace of mind when you're on the trails. I've been very happy with it. The second part of the base of this build is the Go Fast camper you'll see on the back. Again, I've been very happy with that. It came on the truck when I bought the truck. I'm very glad that it did. It is a rooftop tent based on a cap around the actual truck bed. It keeps all of your gear inside, out of the weather, dry, clean, and it has a bed, or the tent portion, that stretches from the tailgate over the cab of the truck, making sure you have plenty of room up there in the tent. It gives a lot of different options as far as mounting goes on the outside as well with the T-Track, and we'll touch on that a little bit later. All right, jumping into the build, we'll start at the front of the truck. You can see at the top, we have a 50-inch curved light bar. One thing I will say about the Chevy Colorado ZR2s is the headlights are just notoriously not very bright. Most people I know that own one have replaced the headlights. I have not replaced the headlights on mine yet because I have several light bars that help me out. I'm mostly driving around the Charlotte, North Carolina area, and there's plenty of street lights. I don't need super bright headlights, but I do have the light bars, especially for when we're doing anything off-road or search and rescue related. So we have the 50-inch curved KC highlight up at the top. It's a great field of view, lights up everything in front of me, very bright. I've been very happy with it. Moving down from there, we have the Baja Designs Squadron ditch lights in amber. I opted for amber mostly because of the reflection. So I am from New England, the New England area, and I'm used to driving in snow. We don't get that much snow down here in North Carolina, but the white light does reflect, cause some reflection, and at the driver's level, it's very helpful to have the amber lights. It doesn't cause as much reflection off of water or anything like that we might be driving through. So I opted for amber to kind of cut down on that reflection. I prefer it anyway, but that's why the ditch lights are in amber. Below that, we have a 30-inch curved light bar on a CBI covert steel bumper with the bull bar. This bumper is a minimalist option for anybody who doesn't want to replace their whole front end or their whole front bumper. It provides a spot to mount a winch, a light bar, and it also has the bull bar option you can add to add additional protection to the front of the truck. The winch we have installed here is a Smittybilt. It's a 10,000 pound winch with a synthetic line, and we use a factor 55 fair lead down here with a factor 55 closed loop shackle. So we wanted to do the closed loop. If you're unfamiliar with that, it's basically a whole winch system that doesn't have any openings in the line. So there's no hooks, anything like that. We use the D-rings to attach to the shackle, and we put that on whatever we're pulling out. If it's us, we can just wrap it back right to these mounts right here using a snatch block against a tree or anything solid, and we can pull ourselves, we can self-recover. We have a controller that's remote, so I can be in my truck, running the winch, pulling myself out if I need to. Can also just simply plug in if you're gonna be standing right next to it. Really happy with the synthetic line, the performance of that. Great all-around winch. Moving on from there, we have skid plates under the bottom of the truck. We have one at the front for approach angles. We have some on the shocks, and we have some on the rear differential as well. We're gonna add more, we just haven't gotten to it yet. Skid plates are very important, especially if you're off-roading, driving over stuff. We do a lot of high water work and not always sure what we're driving over, so it protects, it gives armor on the bottom of the vehicle. Under the hood, we have a ARB dual air compressor for airing up and down tires. It helps other people more than it's helped me, to be honest with you. I often run into people who have a flat tire. I have a plug kit in the truck. I'm able to plug it, blow it up. It's honestly one of the most useful things I've put in the truck at this point. And one of the most used things I have on the truck is the ARB air compressor. I also added 3 amber lights in the grill here. Main reasons for that was, one, there's not much lighting here at the front of the truck when I'm just driving around. I don't obviously drive with my light bars on unless they're needed in austere environments or if I'm off-road. There's only the headlights on the front of this truck. You'll see in most newer vehicles, there's kind of lots of lights on the front of the vehicle, more easy to see. I added the amber lights because I wanted additional lighting at the front of the vehicle so people can see me coming towards them. Like I mentioned, the headlights on this truck are very dark. Maybe we'll replace them eventually, but I added the amber lights for additional lighting at the front of the truck. The second reason is I think it looks cool, and looking cool is rule number 1. So moving down the side of the truck, a couple things to note that we did here in the tire area. So we're running the BF Goodrich KO2s, great tire, aggressive amount of tread to handle anything we're doing off-road, not overly aggressive where it's loud road noise or overly annoying. It's been a great tire. As soon as these ones are bald, we buy the same tire, we run the same tire. Very happy with those. Also on the front here, we replaced the shocks with King shocks with the reservoirs, adjustable. Very smooth shocks, been very happy with them. The adjustable feature is great. We haven't really adjusted them from where we set them to begin with, but the option is there. We got those through Colorado Canyon Enthusiasts, great company. If you have a Colorado, a GMC Canyon, strongly urge you to go to their website. They have everything you need for these trucks. Again, not a sponsored video, just genuinely appreciate their customer service and getting us these shocks pretty quickly right before we went out for a storm. So very happy with that company. Also in each wheel well, we have rock light on each wheel. That's simply for if we're working on the tire, if we get a flat, if anything's going on that we need to work on in here, it provides light for us to do that. We've changed tires before. We've had to do some work in the dark. It was pretty frustrating to hold a flashlight and try and do that. So we added some rock lights. We can turn those on, we can see what we're doing. The other thing to note is with these tires, we went up to 33s. There was a little bit of rubbing here on the fender, so we went ahead and did a trim kit on the fender. We just cut a little piece, not much was needed. They sold a trim kit. The AEV, I believe, is a company that sold this trim kit. Looks very clean, a little bit of grinding, no more rubbing. So very happy with that as well. Another great thing about the Colorado ZR2 is they came with rock sliders. If you're doing any kind of off-roading and you don't have rock sliders, strongly urge you to get some rock sliders. It protects the cab of the truck from any rocks you could be going over, anything you could bump up against. And it also protects the car. If you're parked next to somebody else and they want to slam their door into your vehicle, they're going to hit the rock slider before they hit your door. So just another little tidbit for you there. Moving back, we have the Overland Vehicle Systems 270 awning, or OVS awning. This awning stretches from a little bit over the hood of the truck all the way around the passenger side and covers the back of the truck as well. It's a great spot to hang out, to get out of the sun, get out of the weather. It's very rigid. You don't need to put down the poles if you don't want to. It is advised, but it's very capable of holding its own weight based off of the mounting on the truck. The mounting brackets for this were sent to me. I said I didn't get anything for free on the build. These were sent to me for free by Go Fast Campers after they replaced these hinges on the side panels because the brackets I had previously would not work. So they did send these out to me as a replacement for a warranty issue, but works great. Also, I wanted to mention we did add an additional leaf in the back for the rear suspension to handle additional weight, but that's about all we did in the rear. We have obviously the rock lights in the back of the vehicle as well over all 4 tires, which you saw on the front. All right, on the back of the truck, we have a couple things we added here. Like I mentioned, the Go Fast Camper is a great base for any kind of build out of a vehicle. The ability to mount in these T-tracks is phenomenal. So we added chase lights in the T-track on the back of the truck. We made those amber as well because we didn't want to blind anybody behind us, but it's a great safety feature if you're on a dusty trail, if you're driving through intense rain. It allows people behind you to see your vehicle a little bit better than just your standard dim brake lights. So we added those chase lights. It also helps if you're going in reverse and it's a dark road. Secondly, we added this camera above the third brake light up here. This camera allows me to see what's behind me as I'm driving. It's wired up to my rear view mirror. We have a rear view camera back here for when we're in reverse, but if we're not in reverse, we can't see behind us. We don't have a window here to see out the back window of the truck. So I added a camera so I'm always able to see what's behind me. It's also recording whenever the truck is on. It has a front-facing camera that I will show you a little bit later, but a great feature that we added I'm really happy with. We have plans to replace this rear bumper. I haven't done it yet, haven't had the time. We want to replace it for a better departure angle and move the spare tire from under the vehicle onto the back of the vehicle. If you have suggestions for that, let us know. We do have the water line already here. We plan to add an air line back here as well. So we're looking for a bumper that we can plumb both the water line and the air line to the rear. Moving into the bed of the truck, one thing I do love about the Go Fast Campers is you can open up all 3 panels around the truck. So you can put it in what they call cabana mode, and all 3 of these panels will open. This gives you access to all sides of the bed of your truck, no matter where you're trying to get. If it's fully loaded, you can always grab your gear out the side or out of the back. Another aspect I love about the Go Fast Camper is that it is still completely open inside the bed of the truck, which allows you to still utilize it as a truck. I recently had a whole pallet's worth of gravel back here, just loaded into the truck, was able to shut everything up, get it back to where I needed to go. At the front of the Go Fast, against the cab of the truck, we have a panel from Duluth Trading with pockets for organizing. We have all of our rain gear in there, a few other items that we carry with us just in case. Below that, you can see I have a battery, a Goal Zero Yeti 400. So the battery is constantly being charged from the solar panel, giving power to our Starlink Mini that is mounted on the front of the truck. We don't always have the Starlink Mini plugged into there. Sometimes if we're working hurricanes, the sun's not out, the battery's not getting charged, we can plug it into the truck. Below the battery, we have a 10-gallon water tank plumbed into an on-demand pump on the side of the bed of the truck. The water line then goes in and comes out the bumper. We have it on a switch over here. We can simply plug in the water hose, flip the switch, and we have water on demand. In front of the water tank, we have our recovery gear. So it's just a rigid case filled with snatch blocks, chains, straps, anything we need for recovery. Simple case, we can move around if we need to. We can throw it in the cab of the truck. We can grab it if something's going on, we need to recover. We just grab that case, we have everything we need in there. I also carry a high lift jack. This truck is, it's leveled out, bigger tires, it's a little bit high. The standard jack that comes with the truck would probably work, but the high lift jack makes it very easy. I can just put it on the rock sliders on the side of the vehicle, jack up what I need to jack up, and do what I need to do. We also always carry an impact with us just in case we have to do a tire change. It's a lot easier than using the hand wrenches that we have that come with the truck, so we always have an impact, a bag full of sockets and an impact driver. On the passenger side of the bed of the truck, I've mounted a fire extinguisher in case of emergencies. I've passed some car fires on the side of the road. It's nice to have just in case if somebody's trapped inside the vehicle, we need a fire extinguisher to get them out. Then we have that. We also have lights that we attach to the top of the Go Fast camper, and we wire them down to a switch here in the back next to the water switch. Very helpful to see when we're in hurricanes or austere environments to see in the bed of the truck. We normally have them set to red just so bugs don't come into the bed of the truck. Last thing I'll mention here in the bed is the insulation added to the panels of the Go Fast camper. This just helps with heat mitigation in the summer and to keep us warm in the winter if we're out. A lot of the times, even in storms, it gets cold at night. We experienced that with Helene when we went out. It gets very cold, so this helps us if we're staying in the bed of the truck at night. Next, we'll move to the driver's side and we'll talk a little bit about the wiring and show you where our antenna is mounted. Moving up on the driver's side of the vehicle, we have our alley lights mounted just over the cab of our truck. This provides light to the sides so we can see what's next to us. I also have an antenna for the Midland micromobile radio I have inside the cab. So that's mounted right here on a bracket I fashioned just out of some scrap metal I had. The brackets used for the mounting to the actual Go Fast are the original brackets that came with the OVS awning. I wasn't able to use them. Like I mentioned earlier, Go Fast sent me some brackets I could use with the Go Fast. So these brackets I repurposed, flipped them around, faced them forward, and was able to mount the 50-inch light bar here, my radio antenna, and the alley lights all to this one bracket. Under that, we have our port for our solar panel, which is mounted right here on the top of the Go Fast camper. Those wires come in and are wired through this port, passing into the Go Fast, down and around into the battery that you saw in the bed of the truck. Just next to that, we have another port that we got from Colorado Canyon Enthusiast again. This port allows us to run all of our wires from our lights up top and our radio into the Go Fast camper and then to the S-Pod Bantam X, which we'll show you here in a second. Up on top, you'll see our Starlink Mini. So that's in our Starlink Mini bag. I put magnets on the back of mine. It attaches to the front right there above the light bar and onto the hinge bar for the Go Fast camper. So it stays put. I used rubber coated magnets to protect the surface of whatever I'm mounting it to. And that wire is run back into the Go Fast camper, plugged into the battery you saw earlier in the bed of the truck. I can leave it up there if I want to, drive around with it with the padding and the thermoplastic, the curved plate on the front that can protect the Starlink Mini from any light damage. I don't typically leave it up there if I'm driving down highways or going anywhere crazy, but on these roads, it's fine. Gives us full service wherever we are. It's a great tool. All right, so inside the cab of the truck, we have a lot of customization, as you can see. We started with these mounting panels on the side of the console. So these are from Valhalla Off-Road. These allow us to mount all kinds of stuff to the side of the console without actually drilling into the console itself. So we carry flashlights on here, we carry multi-tools. This iPad you see mounted is on a RAM mount, also connected to that Valhalla Off-Road mounting panel. Over on this side, we have a knife I have on a sheath that has lots of positive retention. I mention that only because you need to think about if you get into a car accident, what's going to go flying. I wanted to make sure my knife's not going to go flying in a car accident. So I have a flashlight on both sides just for myself and the passenger. And then on the driver's side as well, I have the controller and the mic for a Midland Micromobile 50-watt GMRS radio. So what I love about this radio is the radio itself does not have to be mounted anywhere in the vehicle that's visible. Everything is controlled from the actual microphone, and you can hear out of the microphone and change channels, volume, all of that. So I have that on a pass-through I got this panel from Colorado Canyon Enthusiast. It holds the S-Pod, the Bantam X S-Pod, and it also has pass-through for the radio. I also have a plug over here and a cigarette lighter plug over here as well for the radio. The plan is to hardwire that radio into the console itself. We have a phone charger panel right here that doesn't actually fit anybody's phone, so we don't use that at all. So our plan is to tap into that power and use it for the radio. We just haven't gotten to that yet. Love the Midland micro mobile radio. It's a great feature. You can hide the radio away. You don't have to have it, and simply just mounts right here within reach. Installing this pass-through is very easy in that panel. The panel itself makes great use of unused space where there was just a big cubby right there to collect odds and ends. Now it has a full panel with the touchscreen that controls all of our lights, our air compressor, and anything else we want to throw on there. Diving into the S-Pod a little bit more, it's a great solution for wiring any lights or anything you want to control from the cab of the truck. Instead of running all of your wires through the firewall into the cab and wiring it to individual switches, you run all of the wires to just one location, which I have mine mounted under the hood, and there's one wire that runs through the firewall into the cab of the truck. So you only have to do that wire once and you're done. The other great part of the S-Pod is it adds lots more functionality to all of your lights. So before, when you would add a light to a switch, it's simple on and off. That's the only options. Now you can strobe your lights, you can increase, decrease the brightness. You can set it up so when you open the doors, the rock lights come on. The S-Pod provides 8 different spots for you to wire lights to, or air compressors or whatever you want to control from it. If you need more than 8 switches, you can add a second panel and it will just give you a second page on the touchscreen. You can swipe over and control 8 more items. So it adds a lot of functionality and makes wiring very easy. You'll see the iPad we have mounted right here. So this iPad we use to control lights and for mapping. I'll get into the mapping a little bit more when we talk about search and rescue. The S-Pod can connect to phones or iPad through Bluetooth, and unlike a lot of other brands that you don't need a code or there's no security in controlling your light, you need a special code from the S-Pod to connect on your phone or the iPad. Makes it so I could take this iPad, walk to the back of the truck, I can control all my lights. My passenger doesn't have to reach over and control the lights. He can control everything right from the iPad, and he can run his maps and stuff as well. The last thing I'll mention up here at the front of the cab, in the front seat, is the rear view mirror I installed over the stock rear view mirror. This is wired to the camera at the back of the GFC and allows you to see behind you at all times, even while you're driving down the road. Even if the truck's not in reverse, you can see what's behind you. It also has a front-facing dash cam, and both cameras are constantly recording on a loop. If something happens, a car accident, you can just hit the lock button and it secures that footage from being deleted, and then we'll continue to record. In the back, on the passenger side, we have a custom-made panel. So this panel allows us to access what's underneath the panel even when the door is shut. We keep ratchet straps down there. We have road flares. We have our air hose, all kinds of stuff that we might need to get while the vehicle's in motion. I also carry a med bag everywhere I go. I always have a med bag in the truck in case I come across a car accident or somebody that needs help. It's happened numerous times, so I always carry a med bag in the truck with me. Behind the actual passenger seat, we have this pouch mounted right here. I do not remember who makes it, but it holds all of our winch accessories. So this is the controller for the winch. It's magnetic, so as you're working on recovery, you can stick it anywhere. And it has the in, the out, everything you need to control the winch. So we keep that right behind the seat so it's easily accessible. I do keep these schmogs back here to just cover up whatever I have in the back seat, just so if anybody's looking through the windows, they can't really see what I have in there. I do that just as an added sense of security for myself. Not sure how much it helps, but I have not been robbed yet, so seems to be working. On the opposite side, we used to have another platform. We didn't really utilize it that much. We opted to be able to carry more passengers versus having another platform out on that side. So we just put the seats back in and it's just straight passenger seats. Guys, that concludes this video. I hope you enjoyed the walk around of this truck. If you want more content like this, let us know. We do have another video planned covering search and rescue and what we do with search and rescue operations and how we utilize this truck for that. And we'll dive a little bit more into our role in that. If you see us at any of the shows and you want to take a look at the truck, feel free. If you have any questions about anything or you have any suggestions, please drop them in the comments. We appreciate it, and we appreciate all of you. Thanks.